Hey, what's up, y'all? And yeah, it's time to do another preview and prediction video. Today, we're going to do the Miami Hurricanes. I do have my friend Slim Shady Canes here to help us out. What's up, Slim?
Oh, just another day in the neighborhood, Vic. I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on for my expertise and analysis.
Yes, your expertise is very valuable. Yes, and I do appreciate you being on with me as well. Yeah. Let's see. Right. Okay, so now let's look at what y'all did last year first.
Oh,
Yeah,
now we got to bring up bad memories, huh?
yeah, which I know you probably don't like to talk about last year. Yeah, y'all lost to Middle Tennessee. LOL.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. I mean, everybody's
Yeah,
got some of those ugly losses on their record somewhere.
right. Yeah. Let's see. Lost Texas A&M. Let's see what y'all beat. Bethune Cookman and Southern Miss to start out. Let's see. In a close loss, North Carolina, and then y'all beat Virginia Tech. Uh, and then y'all got blown out by Duke. Yep. Would y'all have y'all had like 8 turnovers in that game?
Yeah, I believe it was eight between three different quarterbacks,
Yep. Yep.
and a running back.
Yep. And then let's see, and then y'all beat Virginia i- in 4 OT, and then got destroyed by Florida State, and then y'all blew out Georgia Tech, and then y'all got destroyed by Clemson, and then y'all got destroyed by Pitt. So
Yeah, that actually, me and Pigskin Pete were at that Clemson game, and it started to get a little interesting. You know, Miami scored a touchdown there to bring it within manageable and act like they were going to make a comeback for a minute, but those hopes quickly petered away. And then
yeah,
Pitt, I think they were just in full give up mode by then. You know, the Middle Tennessee loss, as far as I'm concerned, is completely unexplainable and what's the word? What's the good word I'm looking for
um,
here?
hmm,
Unacceptable.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but if you look at like Texas A&M, if you actually watch the game, literally the only reason we lost that game was because our wide receiver core just would not catch anything, which has been a problem going back now 3 or 4 years. And then obviously the Duke game, 8 turnovers is gonna pretty much put the nail in the coffin for any team, no matter who you're playing.
yeah. So, anyways, um, let's talk about who y'all got coming back this year. Let's see. Let's talk about your roster. Let's see statistics.
Well,
All
I
right,
mean, you
there we
can't talk
go.
about the roster without, obviously they're bringing back Tyler Van
Tyler
Dyke at
Van
quarterback.
Dyke.
Yeah.
Tyler
Um,
Van Dyke. Yep.
and obviously he ended up missing 5 or 6 games last year due to injury. I mean,
Yeah.
the offensive line was just absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
Um, and in my opinion, the key factor to why Miami's offense was as bad as it was last year.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Kind of
they
had.
couldn't
Yeah.
stop anything.
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah. Kind of really had a down year compared to last year, but then again, he was injured a lot, like you said. So
Yeah, and like you're alluding to, I mean, everybody's seen what he can do with an offensive line that'll give him some protection and give him some time. Um, and they still, I mean, even a good year he had, I mean, it was mainly to one or two receivers. They've got to get more than a slot receiver and one other guy to step up. I mean, these are a couple of five, like maybe one 5 star, mostly 4 star wide receivers. I mean, you don't you shouldn't have to come to
yeah.
college to learn how to catch the ball.
Yeah, no, you should learn that in high school. You should learn that in middle school. But yeah,
Right.
in anyways, let's talk about those receivers. Looks like Will Mallory is gone. He got drafted by the Colts. So
Well, yeah, and Will Mallory's one. I I hate to say I'm not exactly sad to see him go.
mm,
Tight end, really good pass catching tight end, but and me and Pete were talking about it during the Clemson game because we saw it. You know, Will Mallory literally caught a 3 yard pass, couldn't break a tackle, but he's pretty much automatic with his catches. I'll give him that. But on the very next play, missed his block and gave up a 3 yard loss. He is not a blocking tight end, which is something you absolutely have to be able to do at the tight end
yeah,
position.
yep, that's right. Yes, and speaking of your young wide receivers, do bring back a bunch of wide receivers though. You got like Colby Young and Brashard Smith, Frank Ladson Jr., Xavier Restrepo. So yeah,
And Xavier Restrepo is Tyler Van Dyke's number one target. The two of them are roommates. They have the best chemistry. Uh, Restrepo went down with a broken foot last year. Colby Young was the guy that kind of really stepped up. I think he's a JUCO transfer, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and then the other one I would like to
into it.
see um, some progression out of is the Clemson transfer, Daryl
No,
Langham Jr.
okay. Anyway, let's see. I don't see. Trying to see if he was. I don't see any other schools on here. I just see Miami, but yeah,
Oh yeah, for Colby. I'm not sure if they would have it on there as far as him being a JUCO transfer,
right. Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
it looks like they're only showing his Miami stats. So
And
and it says, or yeah,
I can't knock the kid. He really was the one guy that stepped up. You know, the one bright spot in the wide receiving core. You know, I had a little more expectations for Daryl Langham. You know, coming from Clemson, but he had also battled a lot of injuries at Clemson. Managed to stay healthy last year. So if he manages to stay healthy again this year, I think he can contribute a lot more. And me personally, I like his body type is the type that I like. You know, out on the edge. He's 6'5", uh, right at about 200 pounds. So I like big, long, lanky receivers, which is something Miami has sorely been lacking.
yes. All right, let's talk about running backs. All right, yeah.
I think
Looks
the
like I'll bring
two.
back Henry Parrish and Jalen Knight. Right?
No, Jalen Knighton transferred out.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yes, Jalen Knighton transferred out. Henry Parrish will be back. He's the Old Miss transfer that came in last year. Um, kind of got thrust right into it because Don Chaney suffered an injury in the summer and was not able to play last season. He's one I've had high hopes for since he came to Miami. Um, you know, he was one before he got hurt. I had higher hopes for him than I did Knighton.
Yeah.
Um, so now that he's healthy and if he can stay that way, you know, Don Chaney Jr. is a smaller running back. He's not exactly, you know, taller like you would necessarily
Yeah, there
want.
he is. I see him right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5'10". Yeah. Yeah.
But once he gets
208.
rolling
Yeah.
downhill, it's hard to stop him. He's really fun to watch run.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me the other one that we'll probably see the most of this year, other than those two, would be Trayvon Citizen.
Hmm.
He was 4 or 5 star, came in last year, tore his ACL in the spring,
Hmm. Yeah.
so ended up having to sit out last year.
Yeah.
So
What about Thaddeus Franklin Jr.? Yeah, who had 5 touchdowns and he's 240 pounds. Wow.
want to say Thad. Thad had his name in the transfer portal. I may have just assumed that he was gone, but he may still be
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Now, if he stayed, I absolutely love it because he's body size. He's exactly what I like in a running back. Just over 6 foot. 230, 240 pounds. It's fun to watch him run, and it's hard to stop him once he gets rolling.
Yep. Yeah. So then your offense last year scored 23.6 points per game, which is not good. So
No, that's terrible.
nope, terrible. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, 3.7 yards per rush. Yeah. Got to get that up. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that's my main point of contention with a lot of the Miami fans on the internet. They that was a big criticism last year of the offensive coordinator was he was too run heavy. Well, if you actually look at the stats, it was almost 50-50 between pass
Right.
and run, and they just they couldn't get enough production on the ground.
Nope. All right.
And
So let's talk. Yes, let's talk about defense now.
defense. Well,
Let's
the brightest spot of it had to have been Cam Kitchens. I mean,
yeah,
not a great defense statistically, but I mean, consensus All American, um, and somebody that Mario Cristobal praised specifically because he's not one to call out many names, but Cam Kitchens was one of them. That he something that in my opinion has been missing at Miami. He's one of the ones that was putting in that extra work on his own, which you absolutely have to do, in my opinion.
yeah. Cam Kitchens is good, and it's got James Williams.
James Williams is another one. He was young last year, and in my opinion, uh, I mean, if you see him on the field, he has all the talent in the world. To me, he was trying to do too much and got caught out of position. So he just needs to learn to calm down a little bit, stick to your assignment, and I think he can be one of the best.
Yeah, and he had 6 interceptions for Cam Kitchens. So yeah,
Yes.
yep, 6 interceptions. That's a lot. Bring back Corey Flagg.
Yeah, that's probably the most experienced linebacker on the team.
Corey
Um,
Flagg. And what about Caleb Johnson?
he's been there, hasn't seen the most game time. So it's really hard for me to get a read on him. Like I said, when you just haven't seen him on the field enough.
It looks like we got Mitchell Agude went to the Dolphins. So.
Yeah, and he was a transfer, came in, played really good. I think the other name that you need to look out for on the defense this year is going to be Leonard Taylor, defensive
Leonard
lineman.
Taylor. Yeah, I see. And there's Leonard Taylor. Yeah, looks like he's 6'3", 305. Yep.
Yeah, when he's on his A game, he's a force to be reckoned with on that defensive line, and he was another one that Mario Cristobal called out by name, uh, putting in a lot of extra work and a lot of extra time on his own, and you really started to uh, see the results of it on the field. And I think another off season of that, he can be one of the best in the ACC.
Yeah, and about Akeem Mesidor.
He's another transfer that came in last year. If I'm not mistaken, he came from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and had a great season. I actually thought we only had 1 year with him, but we got another.
Nope, looks like I
And
got another. I guess he could have left, but chose to come back.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm absolutely glad that he did because they put him out there on the edge a lot, and he's able to wreak absolute havoc in the backfield.
Yep. Yep. 7 sacks. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. 7 sacks. Pretty good. Uh. All right, and then Let's take a look at some defensive backs. Looks like DJ Ivy uh, got picked up by the Bengals. And
Yeah, and
then, of course, yeah,
he's another one that I'm sad, and most of the fan base isn't sad to see him go because DJ Ivy, I never could quite figure it out. DJ Ivy is almost like that practice field warrior. I mean, he you see practice film on him, and he stands out and just jumps right out of the screen at you, but it just never translated to the game.
yep, the game. And then we got Tyreek Stevenson, and he was a transfer from Georgia. So
He
yeah, but
was,
now he's
and
with the Bears.
he could have stayed another year, and I was hoping that he would because he was without a doubt the best corner that we had last year.
All right, so looks like most of the defense returns though. Yeah, those loses two cornerbacks and a outside linebacker. But yeah,
We had some other corners transfer out, but corner was something that Mario hit pretty hard in recruiting. So I think we've
yeah, I
made
got
up for the transfers that left.
yeah, right. So I got to Corey Couch.
Yes, he's been there as well, and he's another one that to me seems prime for a breakout season.
All right, then. Is next we can talk about special teams. Like y'all bring back. Do y'all bring back Andres Borgalis?
Yes, and I'm absolutely glad that we do because I mean this guy's a true freshman. Hit a 56, 57 yarder. So I mean he's got an absolute monstrous leg, and I mean he missed a couple as a true freshman. Got stuck in some game-winning situations as a true freshman, but he seemed to clean some of that up this past season, and he's somebody that they can lean on to, worst case scenario, at least walk away with a few points if you can't get it in the end zone.
That's right. Yep, he was kicking 85%. So yeah. So yeah.
That's something we've
Yeah,
had
that's
good
really
luck with
good.
over the past several years because we
And what
had his
about
older brother.
yeah? And what about your punter? Who's your punter?
Um, that I don't know who's going to be the starting punter this year because, for several years we've had Lou Headley, that
Special
6'5"
teams.
Aussie that was all tatted up,
All right. So you three
and
punt.
he
It
got
looks like
drafted.
it's yeah. It's like I see three punters here. There's either Will Hutchinson, Fred Potter, or Sebastian Prizatula. Yeah, I guess it'll
Now,
be one of those, right?
if I had to assume, it would be Will Hutchinson because he did come into some games last year and punt.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got
it'd be a
Fred Potter, and he's from yeah. You got Fred Potter, and he's from England. Yeah, I wonder if he's related to Harry Potter.
that's a really good question. If I'm not mistaken, he's a ginger too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look at how y'all did um, against the other teams. The scoring defense. Might have to look for this one. So
Oh
the
yeah,
thing that kind of irritates me about ESPN is that they don't really have team stats for the defense. They've got team stats for the offense, but not for the defense. So
right.
here it is. Looks like y'all were allowing 26.7 points per game. So
Which isn't absolutely abysmal when you look at what some offenses are doing these days.
yeah,
But um,
yeah, yeah. Ranked 67th, so that's middle of the pack. So
right,
all right.
definite room for improvement, no doubt.
I guess we look at passing defense. All right, gonna go to page 2.
Yep, there they are. Was that 80?
80. Yeah, there you are. There y'all
Okay.
are. So y'all at 23 point. Yeah, 233.6 per game. Uh, yeah, and then 8.3 per attempt. So and now we find rush defense. Uh, yeah, see if we can find total defense. Total. Here we go. Total D, 376.5, and then let's see. Total offense. Here we go. Not good. Let's see.
That's definitely a lot worse. That
Yeah,
was definitely the Achilles heel of
I'll
that
have to
team
go to
last year.
page 2. There they
There they
are.
are.
86th, 367.1. So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was definitely the Achilles heel of that team,
All right,
and I
then.
think it made the defense look a little worse than it was because that offense was just not being able to get a run game going. Everybody was able to, zone in on the pass and just a lot of three and outs.
All right. Well, I think that we're ready to move on to picking the games. All right. So start out with week 1. Y'all get the other Miami. Yep, Miami of Ohio. And this should be a win, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I would say that'd be pretty easy to chalk up as a win.
Yeah, and then next you've got Texas A&M. How you feel about this one?
Um, I actually feel much better about it, especially if you look at, and we were talking about this on a show a couple of weeks ago. If you look at like we talked about, they did a home and home with Nebraska, Ohio State. They've done one with Oklahoma. All of those they beat them at home. Um, so I think I've got a feeling this Texas A&M thing is probably going to end up going the same way. We lost a close one on the road um, because of some net receiver play and then a special teams fumble. I got a feeling they kind of hit their bottom last year. So I do think Miami's going to be better this year. I think we get Texas
Right,
A&M at
but
home.
right, but then again, so is A&M also going to be better. So,
Well, we hope
uh,
so. A&M lost a lot more talent than we did.
um, yes, I think this means me being an SEC homer here, but I mean, now I'm going to pick A&M to win again. All right, up next we got uh Bethune Cookman, and then at Temple. Those should both be easy wins. Y'all should
Yeah, I
both
would
beat
agree
them
with
by
that.
30 or 40 or 50 probably. Uh, yeah, so is Bethune Cookman uh, a culinary school?
Um, yeah, it's not quite down to the level of a women's clown college, but yeah, I do think it is a culinary school.
Yeah. All right. So now let's see. So you've got them 4-0 so far, and I've got y'all 3-1. Now you'll have Georgia Tech, and I think y'all will beat them again. I think they're going to be a little bit better, but still not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech will be, even if their record doesn't say so, I do think Georgia Tech may be a little bit better overall as a team.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And think you have a bet with Sea Dog. What is it that Georgia Tech? I think Sea Dog says Georgia Tech will make a bowl game or something like that. Yeah.
Well, actually, what I did is I actually kind of dug myself a little hole. Not the smartest bet, but I feel pretty confident about it. And I did the same bet with Sea Dog and Rec Talk, that Georgia Tech will not make a bowl and Miami will.
Okay. Yeah. So they're saying that that both of those things have to happen for you to win.
Yep.
Okay. All right then. So next up, we're both in agreement on this one. All right. Next up, we got at North Carolina.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
North
we can take.
Carolina. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we can
Yeah.
take North Carolina this year.
Yeah. Yeah. They've owned y'all recently, but yeah.
They have recently, and I'm not going to take anything away from what Mac Brown's done with that offense, and of course they're returning a quarterback. Um, but the lack of pretty much everything else but a quarterback, I've got a lot of questions about North Carolina.
Yeah. The lack of defense. Yeah. Okay. So what you think? So y'all gonna beat them? You calling this a win?
Yeah, I'm gonna call that a win. I mean, we had them close last year. I think we get them this year.
Right. Well, I can't be too confident in that. Y'all are going on the road, and I do think North Carolina's offense will be good again this year. Their defense will probably still be terrible, though maybe not as bad. And plus, they've owned y'all recently, like I said. So I'm gonna give y'all Annam an L for this one. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. And the next up, we got Clemson. Yeah, so can't is yeah, so y'all thinking, that y'all be a little bit more competitive, than last year, or
I think they can be more competitive, but then again, I think Clemson's gonna, especially their offense, is gonna be vastly improved from what it was last year. So I mean that game very well still may turn ugly, um, but I do think Miami can, at the very least, for the majority of the game, look more competitive than they have.
okay. A Alright, but you're not, picking the upset, though.
No, I'm not picking that
No,
upset.
I'm not either. Definitely think that new offensive coordinator and new quarterback would definitely help, uh, Clemson's offense, so let's see, I think that this is the first game that you have them losing, so
Yeah,
Uh, let's see, and then Virginia, yeah, Virginia's was terrible last year, probably gonna be terrible again. Yeah, y'all should beat them. Yeah,
should.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and then up next, you got some more games. You got at NC State and at Florida State, the back-to-back road games. That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and as much as I want to say Florida State's a pick 'em after being on the road at NC State, I could see Miami losing both of those. To be perfectly honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. Yeah, hard to go on the road back to back. I know a lot of people think that Florida State's gonna be really good. So
And I have my questions about them. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like it was last year. I mean, vast majority of the years, regardless of what team is up or down, Miami Florida State's usually a close game. So I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I would not be shocked in the least bit if Miami lost that game.
all right, and then the last two, I'm gonna give you wins against Louisville and Boston College. Of course, Louisville, is gonna be rebuilding. It got a new coach, right? They got that coach from Purdue, right?
Yeah,
Jeff Brom, and then also at quarterback, they did lose. Was his name
Malik Cunningham.
Malik Cunningham? That's right. So they're rebuilding, and then at
Right.
Boston College, they're just bad. So yeah,
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I had Miami at somewhere around 8 wins for a ceiling. So I mean, if I just had to pick another one to have them at 8-4, I would probably agree with you about North Carolina.
yeah, okay, all right. So are you changing your mind about the North Carolina game?
Yeah, because I do think this team, I'm looking at it roster to roster. Miami probably should win. Um, so yeah, it'd probably be North Carolina if I had to pick because North Carolina, for whatever reason, since they've joined the ACC all the way back in '04, has for whatever reason just been their Achilles heel.
All right.
I
Yeah.
don't know why. There's no explanation. It just North Carolina has given them problems since they've joined the conference.
All right. So it seems like you have them 8-4 losses to North Carolina, Clemson, NC State, and Florida State, and then I do have them losing all those games as well, plus Texas A&M. So that brings them out to 7-5. So yeah, I'm just really having a hard time buying in after the letdown that they had last year. As you know, that last year I picked them to go 10-2, and well, we saw how that worked out. So yeah,
Well, you know what though? I had them picked at the day Mario Cristobal got hired. I had them picked at 6-6, so I was
yeah.
only off by a game.
Yes. How do you think the fans would feel about going uh 7-5? Yeah,
I think anything less than 10 wins, and Miami fans are crying en masse on the internet.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's just the way they are. Let's be honest. I mean, this is one of the whiniest fan bases on the internet that, for some reason, have these high expectations every season. Um, and let me be clear, I think Miami possibly could lose more. I think 8 wins is their ceiling. I think that's probably the best that they can do after last year.
uh,
Because problems with offensive line, don't get solved in one off season. Um, and then a lot of their problems was off field stuff. Mario. That's why Miami had so many people transfer out. Mario had to clean house. I think because of the constant carousel of coaches, you had guys that just would not be coachable because they've had so many coaches and just switched off. I guess I don't know. Um, but I do think they are going to be better than they were last year. I mean, they're vastly more talented than their record. Um, and I do think Mario Cristobal is a good head coach. I mean, I'm not putting him up there at a you know Dabo or Kirby or Saban level or anything like that, obviously. But what he was able to do at Oregon. I get some people look at it that, well, there were expectations on him to make the playoffs. I think that was a little unfair at Oregon, considering that was his first Power Five head coaching job ever.
yeah.
I would expect to see that kind of step in a head coach. Probably at his second stop, which is here in Miami. So I think Mario's going to right the ship. I think last year they were just between injuries and off-field problems. A perfect storm of all that kind of stuff that led to the record they had. So I do think you will see a better product on the field this year.
Okay, that's good. All right, well, so I guess that's gonna wrap it up, y'all. So anyway, so if you want me to do your team, do a preview of your team with you, yeah, you too can be on one of these videos. Just let me know. Just get a hold of me. Wherever you can find me. So.
Leave a
Uh,
comment in the comment section of this video.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, or you can reach out to me on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you follow me. And yeah, or you could email me. But yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again uh next time. Yeah, you can. You got anything else you want to say, Slim?
No, I think we pretty much said it all, buddy.
All right then. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.